All right, we got Jets Bills tonight to close out some NFL Week 6 with some Monday night football action. And as you guys know, all eyes are going to be on Jets defensive coordinator, now interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich, getting his first goal with the big boy headsets. So let's talk hashtag Jet Up with Matt O'Leary, host of the Just Jets podcast. My man, what a week in Jets land, and now you get a primetime Monday night football game to put it all out there for the people, man. How you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling good. New sense of optimism, a little bit. New play caller in here. Nathaniel Hackett's still with the team, but demoted. Todd Downing takes over. New interim head coach and Jeff Ulbrich. Fans are excited to get in the building tonight.
So you're saying there's a chance because Nathaniel Hackett was demoted. All right, just overall expectations, man. Again, it's been a heck of a week for the fan base and the team. What are your expectations of this squad going into Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I think they're going to come out with some intensity in this game. The first game under Jeff Ulbrich, I think they want to, play hard for their guy after. Unfortunately, this team just did not look ready and prepared under Robert Saleh this year. And, I think some were a little embarrassed that their play resulted in their head coach getting fired. And usually we see these teams get a bump from their interim head coach. Now, usually no one's getting fired just 5 weeks into the season. We see that a little bit later on in the season more often than not. But for this one tonight, I think it was, just the Jets trying to save their season. They move on from the head coach, and Jeff Ulbrich's going to come in here, and hopefully the guys play with a little bit more intensity, which I think was missing through their first 5 games of the season.
You heard really quickly, we heard Sauce Gardner say that they'll still be playing for Robert Saleh. You think that was some sort of subliminal message sent to the ambassador, to Woody Johnson?
I don't know if it was a subliminal message and that they were upset about the decision. Now, I'm sure the defensive team really liked Robert Saleh because he had them playing well. But, I think they, like I just said in the beginning there, I think it's more so they were upset that their play resulted in their coach getting fired. I don't think the team disliked Robert Saleh, but it just got to a point where he wasn't getting through to them at this point. So I don't know about subliminal message, but at the end of the day, they still have a lot of love for Saleh, and Ulbrich's well respected in the room too. So I don't expect to see any sort of mutiny that they moved on and brought in Ulbrich to be the head coach.
I tried to get you with a gotcha question there, and you said punted on that one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Speaking of punting, we talked about Nathaniel Hackett being demoted. Todd Downing is going to get the play calling. Should he take the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands and go heavy with the run game? How do you think Downing is going to call this game?
Yeah, I definitely think he should. When you look at it, the Buffalo Bills have really struggled against the run this year, allowing 5.2 yards per attempt, which is most in the NFL against. Now, they did have a very big outlier game against Derrick Henry. He ran wild on them. But if there was ever an opportunity for Breece Hall to have a bounce back week, I think it would be this week against this Buffalo Bills defense. He had a strong game against them in week 1 last year in that crazy, upset win after Aaron Rodgers goes down. But I think they've been relying a little bit too much on Rodgers' arm the last 2 weeks in the absence of the run game. And again, if there was ever a time for Todd Downing to get things right in the run game, it seems like this opponent against Buffalo would be the time to do it.
Which running back do you trust the most? Who's your RB1? Breece Hall or Braylon Allen?
I think right now it has to be Braylon Allen. I mean, Breece Hall is someone who looked great through his first 2 years of his career, and I'm not out on Breece Hall. I just think something looks off with him. He looks a little hesitant going to the line of scrimmage, and he just hasn't looked as good as what Braylon has. Now, neither back really looked great against Minnesota, but it was obvious in the Denver game when Breece Hall was averaging under a yard per carry. Eventually, they made the transition and went more towards Braylon Allen. But, through the first 5 games, I don't think anyone could argue that Breece has been the better back. It's been Braylon Allen. So maybe this is the game where they give him the bulk of the work and it works. Or, if not, if they are going to lean on Breece Hall, which is something they've continued to try to do, continue to try to get him going, this has got to be the week for him to have that breakout game, because if not, then there's going to be some uncomfortable questions, I think, about their star running back.
Yeah, and if you're going to run heavy. You got to be able to play some solid defense on the back end of it. And the Jets defense, man, they haven't been bad this season, but I think we could all agree they haven't been what we thought they were going to be. So would you say that this is a statement game for the Jets defense against Josh Allen?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, the Jets usually tend to play Buffalo tight, and they've done a good job of turning Josh Allen over in his career. In that, Monday night game in week 1 last year, they baited him into a few interceptions. And I think that's what they would have to do tonight in order to win this game. I think they have to win the turnover battle. And it's a really big test. This is the best quarterback that they've played so far. Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And it's always a tough divisional matchup whenever you play, the Buffalo Bills. I think it's going to be a tight game tonight, but yeah, it's a really strong test. The defense hasn't looked as good as what we maybe thought they would be, but after that week 1 performance against San Francisco, still they've only allowed 17 points or less as a defense the last 4 games. Unfortunately, they're 2-2 in that span because the offense hasn't been good enough the past 2 weeks. So while there absolutely is still room for improvement on the defensive side of the ball and a big test tonight against Josh Allen, I think they are trending in the right direction here defensively.
You mentioning it being the possibility of it being a close game. When it's a one-possession game or comes down to one possession, that's usually on coaching. So what are your thoughts on Jeff Ulbrich coaching in his first game as interim head coach? What do you want to see or what do you not want to see from him?
Yeah, for me, I don't want to see that same conservative mindset that I thought the Jets had under Robert Saleh. A defensive-minded head coach kind of just wanted the offense to just do enough, and defensively they'd be able to do enough to win a lot of football games. But I'd like to see Ulbrich come out and be aggressive. Maybe go for it on 4th down. Maybe go for a 2-point conversion. He really has nothing to lose in this next 12 games as the interim head coach. He's so good defensively that if it doesn't work out here, he will be very early in the defensive coordinator search getting hired somewhere. But if it does work and they do go on a run and make the playoffs, he has a chance to become a head coach. So for me, my message to Jeff Ulbrich would be aggressive, man. You have absolutely nothing to lose.
Especially with Cliff Kingsbury. I'm thinking Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the next Jets head coach. I keep telling everyone I think they're going to go offensive minded, but I mean, the opportunity is right there. You see Antonio Pierce come in with the Raiders, kind of change a culture and re-energize not only the fan base but the locker room, and he ended up getting the job. So it's right there in front of Jeff Ulbrich. Hopefully he can come out and put some smiles on some Jets fans' faces, because both the Giants and Jets fan bases, we want dubs. We want dubs. Matt, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Absolutely. You can follow my work over on YouTube at Matt O'Leary NY and over on social media, talking all things Jets, hoping for a win tonight.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, bro.
Absolutely.